If you're a skeptic, then listen to this true account from a remote village in India. Curses? Nonsense. I scoffed at superstitions. Always had. Curses, hexes, evil spirits, all rubbish for the weak-minded. Give me logic, give me reason, give me proof. I was a man of science, a firm believer in the tangible. Little did I know, my convictions were about to be shattered, ripped apart by an insidious force I could never have imagined. "Daddy, can I have her? Please?" Sophie pleaded, her eyes shining with desire. The old woman running the stall smiled, her face a network of wrinkles. "She's a special one, that one. Full of stories, she is." Her voice was raspy, like rustling leaves. I brushed off the unease creeping up my spine. It was just a doll. "How much?" I asked, already reaching for my wallet. The old woman named a price, surprisingly low. As I handed over the money, I could have sworn I saw a flicker of something dark in her eyes. But it was gone as quickly as it appeared. "May I have the name of the buyer and the name of the person the gift is for my record keeping?" "Of course, my name is John, and the gift is for my daughter Sophie." "Thank you, John. Could you please sign here?" Sound of pen signing. I dismissed it as a trick of the light. Sophie was ecstatic. She named the doll Anya and refused to let go of it. As we walked back to the car, the setting sun casting long shadows, I felt a chill despite the summer heat. That night, Sophie insisted Anya sleep beside her. I tucked her in, my heart swelling with love. I kissed her forehead. "Sweet dreams, pumpkin," I whispered. "Night, Daddy." "Night, Anya," Sophie mumbled, already drifting off. I turned off the light, leaving the door slightly ajar. Later that night, I woke with a start. A sound, faint but distinct, drifted from Sophie's room. It sounded like whispering, soft and sibilant. I crept closer, my pulse quickening. Peeking inside, I saw Sophie sleeping soundly, Anya nestled in her arms. The whispering had stopped. Had I imagined it? As I backed away, I thought I saw a shadow move in the corner of my eye. I turned back, but there was nothing there. Over the next few days, a series of unsettling events unfolded. Things would go missing and reappear in odd places. Sophie's toys would start moving on their own. I'd hear Sophie talking to someone in her room, her voice hushed and secretive. "Who are you talking to, sweetheart?" I'd ask. "Anya and I are playing a game," she'd reply with an innocent smile. But it was more than that. A palpable chill settled over the house, a coldness that seeped into our bones. The air grew heavy, thick with an unseen menace. It was as if a dark cloud had descended upon our home, casting a long, ominous shadow. One evening, while having dinner, I felt a sudden drop in temperature. The room seemed to grow several degrees colder. Shivering, I looked at Sophie. She was staring at Anya, her eyes wide and unblinking. "Sophie, honey, what is it?" I asked, my voice tight with concern. "Anya is sad," she whispered, her gaze never leaving the doll. "She says it's cold." Then came the night that changed everything. The storm raged outside, mirroring the terror that gripped my heart. I lay awake, a knot of dread twisting in my gut. A scream, piercing and blood-curdling, ripped through the darkness. It was Sophie. I scrambled out of bed, my heart pounding against my ribs. I raced to Sophie's room, throwing open the door. The sight that greeted me sent a wave of ice-cold fear coursing through my veins. The room was in chaos. Toys were scattered everywhere, the furniture overturned. And there, in the middle of the room, stood Anya. But something was different. The doll's head was turned, its cold blue eyes fixed on Sophie with an expression of pure malevolence. Sophie cowered in the corner, her eyes wide with terror. "Daddy!" she screamed, her voice raw with fear. "Anya, she moved! She wants to hurt me!" Rage, primal and fierce, surged through me. It was just a doll. an inanimate object. It couldn't hurt my daughter. Yet the sheer terror in Sophie's eyes told me otherwise. I marched towards the doll, my hands shaking with a potent mix of anger and fear. "Get away from her!" I roared, my voice hoarse with fury. As I reached for Anya, the doll's head snapped towards me. A chill, colder than the grave, swept through the room. The air crackled with an unseen energy. Ignoring the fear that threatened to consume me, I snatched the doll. Its porcelain skin was surprisingly cold, sending a jolt of unease through me. I wanted to smash it, to obliterate the evil I sensed within it. But something, perhaps a flicker of sanity, stopped me. I stormed out of Sophie's room, the doll clutched tightly in my hand. I needed to get rid of it, to banish it from our lives forever. But first, I had to comfort my daughter. I rushed back to Sophie's room, my heart pounding with a father's love and a growing sense of dread. But the room was empty. "Sophie?" I called out, my voice echoing in the silence. Panic surged through me. Where was she? Had the doll taken her? The thought was absurd, irrational. Yet I couldn't shake off the chilling certainty that had gripped my heart. I searched frantically, my mind racing, my heart threatening to burst out of my chest. But Sophie was gone, vanished. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, but Sophie was never found. The police investigation turned up nothing. Hope dwindled with each passing day, replaced by a gnawing despair that threatened to consume me. Haunted by guilt and grief, I found myself drawn back to the carnival. The stall was still there, shrouded in shadows even in the midday sun. The old woman, her face a mask of indifference, greeted me with a chilling familiarity. "Looking for something?" she rasped, her voice sending shivers down my spine. "My daughter," I choked out, my voice thick with unshed tears. "The doll, Anya, she..." The old woman's lips curled into a cruel smile, revealing teeth stained a sickly yellow. "Anya always keeps her promises," she cackled, her voice like the screech of an owl. As she spoke, my gaze fell on a small, leather-bound book tucked behind a dusty array of dolls. I reached for it, my fingers trembling. The cover was old, the leather dry and cracked. Embossed on the front, in faded gold lettering, was a single word: agreements. With a heart heavy with dread, I opened the book. The pages were filled with spidery handwriting, each line a testament to a dark bargain struck. And there, at the bottom of the last page, I saw it. My name. And beneath it, in a handwriting I recognized with a sickening lurch, was Sophie's name. A payment made. A soul claimed. The old woman let out a low chuckle that echoed through the empty carnival grounds. "Some curses," she whispered, her voice as cold and sharp as shattered glass, "are meant to last a lifetime."